Hi, good morning, good afternoon. For those who don't know me, I am Dr. Heather Stanley-Christian. I'm the founder of Unity Maternal Fetal Medicine, where we help complicated pregnant patients achieve their best outcomes. Our mission is pretty simple. Life is hard right now, and pregnancies can just be the tipping point for quite a few of us. So today I wanted to talk about how we kind of felt. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't realize how much I was looking forward to this long weekend until it was here. And in my mind, I had so many things that I wanted to do. I was going to do this, I was going to clean house, I was going to do all these things. But when I actually got into the house, I felt as if somebody glued me to my bed. I just was exhausted. I was tired. We're changing up some things in our practice to make the whole process even seamless and less complicated for all of us, including our patients and the staff. And it got me to thinking about what I wanted to talk about today. So we came into the long weekend with some thoughts. We've all been working hard. We have several jobs. We're worrying about the kids. We're worrying about the bills. We're worrying about the pregnancy. We're maybe feeling alone. We're feeling tired. We're stressed. And, there are those who would say, yeah, that's a part of life. And yeah, we get that. We acknowledge that. But there comes a point sometimes, and none of us is immune from this, where that day-to-day worrying and working hard sort of morphs into a space where we're completely submerged by our thoughts, by our emotions about the current problems. We can't get out of that rut. And, it's important for us to know when we've kind of morphed from, the usual day-to-day grind of things that we have to do to a space where we're so completely submerged. We're losing productivity. We're starting to feel frozen. Maybe we're feeling paralyzed. And that is what I would say would be a time for us to sort of press pause. I know for me, I pressed pause this weekend. And I put a lot of things aside, and I took time for myself, whatever that means. So my question to you is, how do you know when life and when things in your life are getting to be a little bit too much? Are you procrastinating? Are your thoughts and actions just kind of, it feels circular? You feel like you're not getting anywhere. If this is you in this moment, I would suggest a few tips. And I know the first thought that comes to mind after I say this, well, I am just too busy for these tips. But stick a pin, hear me out. First thing I try to do, and I would suggest, is to change the I'm too busy narrative. There is time. We can find pockets of time. When I get overwhelmed, my go-to is my phone. There are certain, like crossword puzzles, I would be doing crossword puzzles, which is good, but maybe not appropriate for the time and the moment. But that's what I do when I'm overwhelmed. Think about what you might do. Maybe you're spending maybe way too much time on devices, television, and maybe reclaiming some of that time by unhooking and disconnecting and use that time to connect in other ways that makes you feel soothed, makes your soul feel soothed. It's different for different people, but I would suggest that you just press pause and just try and find that one thing that you can connect. Maybe it's running, maybe it's walking, maybe it's volunteering, whatever it is. But the time, you look at the time and see where you can reclaim some time to help yourself. Changing how we look at stress. Now, I feel like as folks, we are very settled in how we think and how we feel about something or someone. And when a stressor comes up, we kind of get to that automatic thought. Some people call it an attitude. Perhaps trying to figure out if there's an opportunity to change that one thought when there is a stressor. If you can't change a thing or you can't change a person, maybe changing how you cope with that stressor. Food for thought. My last thing is to try and simplify, try and prioritize, and try and listen to your body's needs. Our bodies are not disconnected from our emotional self. We need to start looking for these little pockets of joy. If we've worked long, from the time we were born, we're trying to do the right thing. We're learning all these things. We're adults. We're trying to make our way in the world. And, I know a lot of you aren't of my age group because you're still pregnant. But, we get tired kind of doing the rat wheel and the rat race. So listen to our bodies. Take a rest. If the mind is just feeling like it's burning rubber mentally, simplify and prioritize. But life is too short, okay? And it's time for us to take back how we think and how we feel in the little moments that we can. So the things that tend to steal our time, that's really not productive or bring any kind of joy, maybe it's time to steal a little bit of that back to make us smile, or at least make us just go for a little bit. So this is Dr. Heather Stanley-Christian. I am available for those folks who might feel like you need a little help in this regard. You can find me at Unity MFM on Insta. There's a link tree. But I'd like for us to, if we had a good weekend where we found ourselves in that space where come Tuesday morning we go, it could be a little longer, then we can find a little longer time by stealing little minutes and an hour or two a week. It can be found. You just have to look objectively and kind of figure out what's not necessary and what's more necessary. And our mental well-being and our mental health and our emotional space, we work too hard to be working and be unhappy. Okay? So reach out to me. And this is Dr. Stanley-Christian, and I want you to wish you peace and that space, and walk good. Talk later next Wednesday. Bye.